And you probably saw me when you were talking about the march and you had like, I don't know what thousand number. I was like, oh my goodness, like that.
Yeah.
But it comes back to having a sense of conviction and knowing that your convictions are grounded in casting as wide a net as possible to have the biggest positive impact on as many people as possible. If
Okay.
you could, for our viewers, now that you are, well, and have been in serving as a legislator, some of these key pieces within that science component, but how do you feel like working within that science component really is helping the greater good? Because some people are like, oh, no, walk through with us. Like, look, in operating through this lens, this is the potential impact that we can have.
I love that question because it's a question that I asked myself. You know, after I got elected, the next morning I woke up and I was like, I got elected. Now I have a responsibility to do what I said I was going to do. How do I do this? Will I fit? You know, I am moving into a completely different arena than where I was the night before, you know, and so I took that charge very seriously. And so one of the things you do in science is you ask questions. And not only do you ask questions, but you consider all of the ramifications of any conclusion that you make. And so you dig deeper, you go a little bit deeper than the surface. And you really try to get to, you know, the root of an issue. And so, I took that training to read things, not just for what I'm looking for, but the things I'm not looking for. I took that training in science of if someone is going to quote a source, I want to not just see your quote. I want to see the source. I want to see what that source said. I want to see what they said before and after the part that you stuck in the bill. I made it a point to try to read all the bills that came in front of me, and I made it a point to read them with the intention of finding out or looking for something to ask. I feel like if you read with the intention of, you know, deciphering and getting to the meat of the issue, I push my button and I get, you get a reputation for being, oh goodness, Representative Clark has pushed her button today. But, that's what we need. I think one thing that does is it puts people on notice that someone is paying attention. No offense to my colleagues who came before me, but I really do feel like a lot of people come in and they put these bills forth and they don't think anyone's going to question them because no one really has. And so, you can't just throw a chart up in a committee hearing and think that, I'm not going to look at that data and say, well, wait, your y-axis says this and your x-axis says this, but you just said something completely different than what I'm seeing on this chart. And so you got to bring your A game. I think if you know that there's someone in the room that's going to look at things through that lens, it increases the accountability. Now, I say that optimistically. The truth is, some people still gonna try to lie. Some people still gonna try to get away with things. Some people are gonna still try to mold a narrative to fit whatever they want it to be. So I am not some type of superhero. I'm not like Wonder Woman, waving my little, what does she have, like a whip? I'm not like that. But I will say that there have been moments in my short tenure. I've only served one session or two legislative sessions, or one biennium or two legislative sessions. There have been moments in time where I do feel like I made some type of impact, even if that impact was, we can't get things like that past her, so we got to do it another way if we want to do this.